Hi everyone, Kate here, and today I'm going to be doing a quick little video about some of my jewelry collection. After I did a video probably a few months back now, about my hat collection, I got a few requests about jewelry. And if I could show you some of my jewelry collection. I'm not going to show you guys everything because it would be very boring. I have a lot of vintage, 1970s brooches and things like that that are, I mean, they're cute and I wear them, but they're fairly mediocre. I've gotten them at vintage sales or thrift shops for $1 or $2 each, and they're really not particularly special or interesting. So I've just picked a few of my more, not necessarily my more valuable pieces, but my more interesting pieces, which I'm going to share with you today. Let's go, I think in terms of order, I'm going to go back in time. I'm going to start with my newer ones first, and then journey backwards. So they're not in any particular order in terms of favorites or anything. I'm just going to go by time period. So first on my list of, okay, these are just silly. I like these. They're little brooches. I'm going to insert a close-up shot too, but they're little brooches. I don't know if they're supposed to be ostriches or emus. I'm not really sure. Maybe ostriches? They're probably supposed to be ostriches. It amuses me. I don't know. I found these brooches at a cheap, all brooches for $1 table at some Christmas sale thing I went to, and they had these. They're probably from the, I'm not very good at dating jewelry, but I don't know, some sort of 70s, 80s, something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but they're ostriches. And I don't know, the quirkiness of them just captivated my imagination there, and I decided I was going to collect a range of ostrich and emu style brooches, and that was going to be my thing, is I was going to collect these brooches. And since then I've never seen any other ones. I found 2 one day and none since then, so they're just sort of a quirky little piece. I don't know, I like them. I don't know if I've ever actually worn them, but I got 2, so it'd be kind of cute, like running on my hat. I like novelty brooches. I have a thing for novelty brooches, and these ones were just very unique. Okay, traveling back in time about 30 years. I'm skipping over a good portion of my collection here because I really do find the older stuff more interesting. But the next thing is a 1940s, probably. Again, I'm not an expert in vintage jewelry. I'm not the best at dating things. So I'm basically going on what I've been told about the jewelry. So if my dates are wrong, apologies. So this is a 1940s Sweetheart Brooch. I think I purchased this back in university. I think this was a little post-exam treat to myself. And it's really, really hard to see, but in the little hearts are engraved the names Billy and Susie. So it's what's called a sweetheart jewelry, which is especially popular during the Second World War with everybody going overseas and stuff. So you see these in other things other than bracelets. You see brooches and necklaces and stuff. But this particular one is intended as this little bracelet. And I don't know, there's something terribly romantic about sweetheart jewelry. I don't know if Billy and Susie actually made it, but I like to think they did. Okay, and going back in time another 10, 20 years, something like that, is this. Now this is one of my newer pieces. This was I think it was a birthday gift. I mean, I ordered it, but I had somebody else pay for it. Like, here, buy this for a gift for me. It's a dress clip. You could probably wear it as a shoe clip, but I wear it as a dress clip. So, sort of like the same idea as a brooch, but you just sort of clip it onto your clothing. And an Art Deco piece. It's probably the 20s or the 30s. It's missing a couple jewels. They're glass. They're not real. But, oh, focus. But I thought it was very pretty and very evocative of the era. This was on sale because of the missing little gemstones, so it was fairly inexpensive. But I really love these sort of very Art Deco-y pieces, and they're a good way to dress things up. I like putting, this isn't a brooch, but I like putting brooches on berets or dress clips on like a plain dress, and it's a good way to get more wear out of less clothing. I have a ridiculous amount of clothes, so that's not really a problem for me, but I like pieces that make what you have more versatile, and I think that's a very old-fashioned vintage kind of idea. Like people would buy shoe clips, or they'd buy a new hat or a brooch or scarf or something like that to dress up basic wardrobe staples that they already had. It was a good way to expand your wardrobe without actually buying new clothes and without spending a lot of money. So I really enjoy pieces of that nature. Around the same decade, but probably a little bit earlier, is this little brooch, which I also got off of Etsy a while ago. This is probably 1920s. It was sold to me as a 1920s brooch. And it's an embroidered brooch. You don't see embroidered brooches. Usually they're metal or glass or plastic or that nature. So it's got all these cute little embroidered flowers on it. And I do embroider. I know the embroidery stitches that were used to make this. And I have a very strong appreciation of needlework and sort of fabric and tactile things like that. I sew, I knit, I embroider, I do all the crafty, fabricy things. So seeing this, I could really appreciate the workmanship that went into it. And it's quite a simple little thing when you look at it, but I think it's really sweet. Okay, traveling back in time another 10 years, we have my little lightning bolt brooch. So this little brooch here is a little arrow. I always think of it sort of like a little electricity thing. I guess it's not actually. Now that I look at it, it's just sort of an arrow, a curvy little arrow. But it was sold to me as something from the 1910s. Again, I don't know. could be made 5 years ago. I have no idea. But I quite like this piece. I think it's sort of a quirky, fun little piece. I don't wear it very often, if I'm honest. A lot of my more special stuff I save and then just don't wear, which I really should change that. I tend to wear the pieces that I don't mind if they get broken or lost and not wear the special things, but I really should make an effort to wear the special things occasionally because I really do love them. I don't know, something about this intrigues me, this cute little arrow. It's supposed to go, I don't know if it's supposed to go like that or it's supposed to go down. The brooch is, like the pin is sideways on it, so I think it's cute. And my last two pieces are both family heirlooms, and they're probably from the Victorian period. My last piece definitely is. This one, I've been told it is, I think. I lost the note card that came with it, but this is a sweet little ring, and this I believe belonged to I don't know if her picture's, oh, her picture's not behind me. Is she? No. I don't know where she went. This, I believe, belonged to somebody who was somehow related to me. Great-great-grandmother, or my great-grandmother's second cousin. I don't know. I gotta look at the family tree and see how she actually relates to me. But this, I believe, I don't know if it's her engagement ring or just a piece of jewelry, but it's a sweet little gold ring, these little pink stones on it. It's very small, it's very delicate, and I think that's what appeals to me about it, is how tiny it is. And I got big man hands. This does not fit. I can just about get it on my pinky, but even then it's a bit of a squeeze. Oh, there we go. But so I can't actually wear this piece. This piece just sits in a box, but it's so delicate and feminine, and even though it won't fit on my big mitts, it's very special to me. And my last piece is probably the most special of all the pieces I owned. I don't know who these came from. I know they're a family heirloom. They even have the original box. This is a Victorian pair. Ooh, let me get it open. I like how I'm undoing the clasp. The back's actually broken, so the clasp doesn't really do anything. But they are a Victorian pair of earrings. Aren't these cool? I've never worn them. I don't know, something about wearing 100-year-old earrings kind of grosses me out. I feel like that's a good way to get an ear infection, but they're the sweetest little... They're sort of like studs, but they have a curved back piece that I think you sort of like screw into your ear and then they stay in place. Sort of between a modern hook and a modern stud. They're kind of a crossbreed of the two. But I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they're real or if they're just glass. My family was never particularly rich in the olden days. Who knows, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're just glass. But the fact that they still are in the original box, I absolutely adore. You don't normally see, well, none of the jewelry I bought anyway has come in the original case, and you can tell how old they are just looking at the box. And again, the back's worn through. There's obviously like a fabric hinge along the back at some time, and that's just it's worn away. So there is a clasp at the front, but it doesn't actually keep it closed anymore. A little thing. But that's probably my favorite piece in my collection. Again, this is not a piece I wear. I'm okay with that. I have a lot of vintage clothing or, you know, jewelry and stuff that I don't actually wear, and I don't intend to wear it. Some of my 1920s dresses, I think I've talked about those before on I think it was my Q&A video, and I love them. I love looking at them, but I will never wear them because I don't want to ruin them. And I think that's, I have a hard time, like I really like the look of people wearing these really old antique pieces on Instagram and things, and they look really, really pretty. But a part of me thinks, you're gonna wear that out. There's a very limited supply of these things, and I wouldn't want to be the one to end it. Like, I don't want to be the one that wears it into the ground and turns it into garbage. So I do have a number of pieces that I just keep for study and display. And I just keep them to enjoy them and enjoy the history and preserve what I can. So I do have I guess that's probably why I don't wear a lot of my more special pieces. I tend to wear the more modern, cheaper pieces that don't, in my opinion, don't matter as much. They don't have as much historical significance. They're a lot more plentiful in the world. They're not as rare. And so if they do get broken or lost, it doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't matter as much, but it really, the loss isn't as great. So. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into my vintage jewelry collection. Like I said, I do have a lot more pieces, but they're, you know, they're boring, they're ordinary. This is a modern piece that I'm wearing right now, but it amuses me. This is my all-time favorite piece. It's not old, but it's Buster Keaton. Yeah, it's Buster Keaton. Hard to have a bad day when you're wearing Buster around your neck. Buster makes everything better, so. Well, thank you for watching. Let me know if there's any other of my collections you would like to see. I'm thinking about filming this collection. It's sitting right beside me because I'm planning on doing it at some point. But this is my vintage postcard collection. I think that might be kind of an interesting one to film. So let me know if you're interested in seeing that. I have some other little bits of ephemera in there as well, but it's mostly mostly Victorian and Edwardian postcards. So let me know if that's something you guys would be interested in seeing. A little tongue-tied. So let me know if that would be something you guys would be interested in seeing, or if there's anything else. I think I'm going to make a video about my vintage sweater collection, a lot of them being made by me rather than actual vintage. Partly because I have to organize it. I mean, it was sort of like when I did my hats, it's because like I had to do a chore, and it was like, two birds, one stone, make a video too. So I might do that when I organize my, I'm looking at them right now and they're like toppling over because they really need going through. But when the weather gets a little cooler, oh, dying right now, maybe I'll do a sweater collection video. But let me know if there's anything else you want to see. I don't know, maybe my vintage clothing or my typewriters. I got like 4 or 5 typewriters now. I don't know, anything like that. Just let me know in the comments below. And I guess that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!